Hello guys! This is again Drago42 together with the SciCraft crew. Hey guys!
Hello.
Hey.
And
Hello.
today,
Hello.
for the first time, we have a guest on our tour, which is Pricey. Hey,
Hi,
welcome
hi.
on board.
Thank you.
So, yeah, the idea is that Pricey can ask some questions in between, that we might forget about some things, and we hope to get a bit, well, more explanation into the video that way for all you guys out there. And yeah, so we're today starting at the location that we've already shown, namely our Nether perimeter. And the first part, well, we upgraded some things here, like some storage for bone blocks. Yeah, that's pretty much all. But we also have one important thing, which is, for example, this chest. But there are also some things behind the scenes. So maybe if someone wants to go to the AFK spot, to the farming spot, and get some stuff, then we can directly take a look below. Oh yeah, here it's actually the switch, because we can now send blaze rods directly to spawn. And the way this is done, we can just show from below. So, is anyone farming some blazes?
Here.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, we have to try to stay a bit in the center of the perimeter, so spawns don't suffer. But what's happening, you can see
Crazy? Are you okay? Oh, god damn it, now I left.
Yeah.
I guess someone pressed the button. I'll probably get through at some point.
What did you do?
Did someone get out?
We're both stuck, I think.
Yeah,
Oh!
Crazy left the minecart, and so I thought, well, how am I gonna get him out there? And now I'm stuck as well. I'm just gonna try to glitch through with ender pearls.
Okay, yeah, worst case, just dig out and...
Now.
Yeah, worst case, just dig your way out and we'll fix it later. So yeah, showcase fact, but Mango's already farming some blaze.
Oh, god damn it.
It would in principle go to normal storage, but yeah, this is the one chest we just showed. This is from behind the storage. And if you take a careful look there, there are some blaze rods falling down. Oops. And I actually picked some up, which doesn't really matter. So yeah, there's simple drop shoot, and every now and then we shoot out the items onto an ice track. So, Pricey, did you get freed by now?
Yeah, sure did.
Ah, perfect.
Yeah. Oh, there's the button.
Can somebody farm?
Sure, I come.
Okay. So, yeah, we get a lot of blaze rods here. We actually have to slow them down a bit so we can be sure that they trigger the tripwire, which activates the system here. So it's just on a cooldown, so it triggers a few times. A fairly slow clock, and yeah, that's pretty much everything. So, oh, Vince has a problem with the endermite. Alright, so we get blaze rods here, or any other items that we put in the chest, where there's just a distribution system from Mango underneath. And then, yeah, the pressure plates here trigger the next piston to continue the items on their path. And eventually, they end up in this portal back here. Now you might wonder, why are we not using the Nether to transport items? So Pricey, do you have an idea?
Might have to do something with the world not loading, or, well...
No.
Yeah.
Let's actually go through
Switching
the portal.
dimensions.
Yeah, let's actually go through the portal. Because we have a really nice coincidence, which we didn't really plan ahead when determining the perimeter. Those are the ones I just threw through. But if you take a look, yeah, you can actually see them very briefly appearing here while someone's farming. So
There's
every now and
enemies
then,
farming.
I'm still farming,
Okay.
yeah, but it's
yeah,
a bit
so
slow.
maybe we see it again. Yeah, I mean the system is quite slow. Yep, here you can see it. They actually drop right into an end portal, and that way we have them in the end. So if we then jump through the end portal.
Why didn't you show the chunk loaders?
Oh, right, forgot about that. Yeah, I mean they're not too special. It's essentially a few hoppers underneath. So even if there's no player near the end portal, I should actually activate that. Then yeah, the chunks still get loaded by some chunk loaders. So the entities actually get processed and they actually fall from the portal down into the end portal. So, yeah, if people want to follow to the end, then oops. Yeah,
Maybe
you can see
prize
that.
some.
Oh yeah, should ask that a bit more frequently.
If you have questions, just talk over him. It's fine.
Oh yeah.
It's all
We
fun.
do it all the time, don't worry.
So yeah, I mean, essentially we have a system which detects when items are coming in and activates the water, so they even get flushed to the side. And underneath we simply have a minecart to pick them up. I think we can actually see it here. There are 2 hopper minecarts stacked.
I guess the system is activated by the obsidian being regenerated, or how do you
Uh,
actually
no.
detect items?
Obsidian gets
there's
regenerated
a
by
mine
players
part
only.
in the middle here, directly
Okay,
under
good.
to the 5x5. And if it detects the items that get sucked up by the hopper minecarts, it would start the flushing here. And because it's kind of limited what we can take from the one in the middle, and also there's an issue with the other farm we want to show later. That's why we have this flushing system. Then it all gets flushed to the side here. Also, the walls on the side get pushed up to contain the water. There's a double piston extender that would get they will go down afterwards again.
Fair enough.
Right, then we have a few water streams underneath. Again, we also have to do chunk loading here.
Yeah, let's take a look at that even.
Alright, so underneath the end island, we have a chunk loading grid.
Okay, so we have this middle chunk here. From there, all the hoppers go out to the other chunks. And once this chunk in the middle is loaded by the items that go through the portal. And from there, we load all the other chunks.
Exactly, and one thing that we should mention, for hoppers to actually perform chunk loading, by now they need to have an item in them, so if you use an empty hopper, it doesn't work.
Mhm.
That's one thing that might be a problem for many people.
And we don't disable those hoppers here because there's really no reason to do it. I mean, when we are in the area here anyway, we don't mind the chunk loading. And when we're somewhere away, it would unload the chunks here.
Yeah, so in the end, it's not really a big issue.
Mm.
Alright, so items come from the Nether directly here to the end.
You can also take a look at the item distribution system and how they are transported,
Yeah.
I guess.
Someone knocked me off.
Sorry.
Come on!
Vince!
Let's shoot him off. Got him.
Are we playing King of the Ladder now?
Seems like it.
That's actually getting really interesting now in 1.9 or 1.10 with the player collisions. Oh yeah, there we can see the items coming through. So yeah, usual item distribution system. I mean, if you're looking for a tutorial, just check Mango's channel.
Yeah, it also joins up with the other stuff. At the top with ender pearls.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of items coming in and, well, all of them should go to spawn. So, they drop down here. And I think they go almost through the end island, right?
Yeah.
Or do we... Yeah, we switched to the new one
We
right now.
could go down here if we dig a little bit. It's fine, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly a water stream, so
Just follow my
that's-
lead. We have to go through the portal anyway.
I'll just try to get to the portal already. So, I mean, we still have a portal over here because we broke some blocks of it, so it didn't get removed. But at the same time, we have a new portal, and it's quite low. So we don't need item elevators here.
We don't want item elevators because the chunk loading isn't 100%. And those item elevators could fail if the chunks get unloaded. So the item just gets stuck somewhere and then it flies out to the side. So to have it lossless, we don't have any item elevators here.
Yep. And if everyone's coming over, I mean, we can nicely see the blaze rods dropping into the end portal here. And
Okay.
everyone's coming through. Okay. So obviously if we jump through, we would end up at the last location, well, either at the spawn point if we haven't slept in a bed or it's obstructed, or at the last bed that we slept in. So yeah, we'll probably regroup at the place where also the items come out and see you over there in a second. Alright, now we're on top of our spawn tower and well, you might have just seen some items running through. Now we have to wait for a few seconds for the next ones to come. But yeah, this is where the items would spawn, because our nominal world spawn. And so they spawn directly in the water stream that we've also had before, drop down, and we transport them off in one direction by now. And what is in this direction? Well, first they drop down here, but in the end, you might see it below the ice here. There's a line going over to our shield generator.
That's actually not for the blaze rods. There's another tunnel.
Oh yeah, that's yet another one, but well, blaze rods also go over there. Alright, now we're inside the shield generator with our furnace arrays. And the first thing that we changed is our fuel source. So obviously we are now using blaze rods instead of charcoal before, just because they last a bit longer. And yeah, we get them sort of for free and didn't really know what else to do with them.
Also, our tree farm here is broken.
Oh yeah, that's another good reason to replace it. So yeah, new fuel source is the one part. The other part, maybe we can demonstrate it. Maybe enemy, you have some items with you?
Yeah,
Smelt?
sure.
Because I mean, also before we had a manual smelting array here, so not just for the smooth stone and what was the other one? Oh, for charcoal. But yeah, the one that we had for manual smelting, we now upgraded. So instead of having 50 furnaces, we now have 150. And we needed that speed up for something we'll show a bit later. So, yeah, enemy, can you fire it up?
I threw inventory in there.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Okay, yeah, it
should
takes a
start in a
little
sec.
bit. So items need to be processed a bit, but I think soon we should have an amazing view in here.
It's loading.
Oh yeah, now it's firing up.
Probably the first batch isn't 150, so fire stops somewhere.
Might stop somewhere, but doesn't really matter. That just looks amazing. Oh, and it might even make it.
Oh.
148. Damn it. That's close.
That's also something I noticed. Those hopper minecarts, they are affected by like how many items they would pick up. It's a little issue. So
Yeah.
now I mostly run the system at 148.
Okay.
And sometimes we get more, and sometimes less. It's literally stupid. Affected by lag.
Yeah, I mean that's a minor disturbance, of course.
Mhm.
Here, but
Because we made the system a lot bigger now, also became more complex to process all the items. Maybe we should take a look at that.
yeah. So let's try to take a look at the other side. Yeah, once we all get up here.
I'm just gonna
Maybe somebody dumps items in here. Yeah.
Yeah, just so we can see stuff. Oops. How did I manage that? So you can still see the small furnace arrays we had before, but the bigger one is now upgraded and uses a bit of a different system, just because it needs to handle more items. So instead of having regular hoppers below, like here in the old ones, they just couldn't keep up with the speed. So we now have hopper minecarts running below the furnaces. But also the item pre-processing, so to speak, needed to be changed. And you can see there are several item distribution systems. So I think one for each chest that we have on top. And that would output quite a few items that even this furnace array can't handle.
Actually, enemy, you could put in cobblestone in all of those item distribution systems, and it's even faster.
Okay, will do.
Yeah, okay. So this could go up to 400,000 items per hour, if I'm not completely mistaken. And yeah, then essentially it goes into a second buffer storage, which is up here. And some hopper minecarts from this, well, hopper minecart dispenser will get shot out, and based on the time, they will fill up with 150 items. Well, roughly. Now it's again 148. And yeah, I mean here the whole trick for the dispensers is that we have one powered rail. Well, it's not powered, but it's a powered rail with the minecart, so they are stacked inside each other. And by pushing it out, one of them gets translocated to the front, while the other ones stay on the rail and get pulled back afterwards. So we can always dispense one minecart exactly. Very simple system and super reliable actually. So the only issue you might sometimes have is if the rail is bent in the wrong direction, they might drive off or something, but then you can just put another rail to the side so the rail is kind of perpendicular to the direction you push them out. That's sometimes a small trick that can help. But yeah, then...
So it's perfectly timed, one minecart every 10 seconds. So we don't waste any fuel.
Okay, that's pretty nice, because, yeah, well, one item takes 10 seconds, so after 10 seconds each furnace needs to be refueled.
I mean, if you have it like every 9.8 seconds, then the furnaces or the hoppers behind would fill up more than it would process. And if you do 10.2 seconds, then it wastes some fuel. So if one coal, you could only smelt 7 items, for example. So it has to be 10 seconds exactly.
Or 11 items with the blaze rod.
Exactly, yeah.
But
we're wasting some fuel in the last 2 furnaces that not always get items.
yeah, well, okay, but it's still less than...
They don't run, so they don't waste fuel.
Yeah.
And sometimes, yeah, as I said, it's depending on lag. Sometimes the minecart takes more or less. Weird issue.
Precisely. So then over here we have another fast unloading system, similar to the item distribution system. Just instead of a chest on top with the hopper minecarts. So they leave whenever they are empty. And yeah, the items get shot out here and go to the storage. Or to the output chests, in that case.
I assume those ender chests in the unloading circuit, system also have a purpose?
Precisely. So, I mean, the unloading system uses a bunch of hopper minecarts below here. And the idea is that the hopper minecarts are on top of multiple hoppers at the same time. So while the hopper minecarts are quite fast at picking up items, the normal hoppers are quite slow. But by spreading it over multiple hoppers, we can speed it up. And the ender chests are simply there for alignment. So by now you could actually use regular chests, but before the hitbox of chests was fixed, ender chests were the most reliable way to align the minecarts correctly. So they're slightly smaller.
No hitbox bugs, yeah.
Yeah. So they're slightly smaller than a full block, which means you can push the minecart slightly on top of the hoppers that are covered by the ender chests. And yeah, that does the whole trick. So
we can smelt 54,000 items per hour here. No.
That is quite an impressive number, I would say.
Also, we have a chunk loading array, of course, so we can leave the server. This is still running.
So the only thing we have to do every now and then is stand, well, AFK with an auto clicker or something at the Nether farm, and we can run the furnace array here as much as we want, pretty much. Now that's already quite a nice automation. Oops. But I think we can do even a bit better, right?
Always.
So let's head off to another station, and we'll actually come back here, but yeah, we'll show you something else there.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we're here at the next destination, and as you might remember, this button was once for stake, to turn on and off the mushroom farm. Well, it was a lever then, but now it's a button. As you can see, we have a blaze rod in here, and the reason for that is that once you press this button, we activate our poppy portal for around 12 minutes to load the overworld site for the stronghold where the blaze rods get shot into the end. Because if no one is in the overworld, it wouldn't be loaded by default. And after the time, the blaze rods would come through the end to here into the furnace array, and that would load it. That's why for the initial startup, we need to manually start the chunk loading. That's what this button is for.
Yeah, so this is basically needed if nothing else does the overworld dimension loading, like the iron farm, for example, but we usually don't run it anymore.
Okay, so to make it clear once more, before we go to the Nether perimeter and start the blaze farm, we press this button, so the spawn chunks are loaded for 12 minutes at least, and this way the chunk loading at the end portal works.
Yeah. And as soon as items are coming through, this kind of cooldown gets reset automatically, and it just keeps on running.
Exactly.
So, that was one little addition we had to make, but let's head off to the next station. So, we have arrived at one of our newest perimeters, and that one's slightly bigger. So, if you take a look around...
Render distance is 16 chunks.
Yep, there's not much to see here. And just to show you, we are actually on bedrock level. So, quite low. Yeah, so this is kind of the center of our perimeter. I think if I run out a little bit, we can actually see the walls at some point. Ah, there they come. Yeah, so that's a pretty large one, and we still have some space for future projects. But there's already one thing, and that one I can actually see, which is this little thing back there. But that has an important meaning. Oh yeah, by the way, the thing you can see up there is a TNT quarry, with which we, well, blew out this perimeter. Actually, multiple ones of those.
Size of the perimeter is 528 times 128, 528 chunks.
Oh, blocks, not
blocks.
chunks.
Chunks.
Blocks, yeah.
That would be a bit too much.
So 33 by 33 chunks.
And once we're over here, you can see again that we have a bunch of chunk loaders here. And this time they are, well, toggleable. So of course in the overworld we want to reduce lag and therefore make it toggleable here. Which means we simply deactivate the hoppers with a redstone signal. But yeah, the important thing is this weird looking construct up here. So maybe let's quickly go up here. It's a little difficult to climb. And Pricey, do you have a chance to see something?
I have a chance to see something. I can see some chickens.
Yeah, that's
Some chicken.
one important ingredient. So what we have here is a sand duplicator. As you can see, the sand blocks keep falling down and at the same time also shot into the portal. But then they, well, also become a solid block again on top of this piston head here. Oh, no, sorry, the other one actually. And at the same time they are also going through to the end. So we're duplicating the sand here. I think the initial versions were, for example, shown by Panda 494. But yeah, we tried to optimize it for the overworld end portal. So we can use every portal block, well, except for the center one. And yeah, that way we have 3 sand blocks on this side, 3 on the other side, and 2 from those sides. So we have 8 blocks that we duplicate each time. Oh, and we would actually need yellow sand. Yeah, yeah, we'll have to exchange that in a second because of some item filters. But yeah, that way we get red sand, but of course it also works with yellow sand or any other gravity-affected block. And thanks to the chunk loading here, we can actually run this 24/7. So if no one's on the server, oh well, just turn it on, produce a bit of lag, but no one's on and we get a ton of sand. Alright, we are now at the unloading detector, which is, as I said, a few hundred blocks away from the actual farm. And yeah, hey, Mango, you want to go ahead?
Okay, so this is out of the reach of the player, and we have chunk loading around here, so this is also get loaded. And this was something that also Panda showed. It uses a lazy chunk detector, but you can also actually use it as a chunk unloading detector. And what we do here is get that 45-second cycle. So whenever those chunks unload, this becomes a lazy chunk, and then the gravel that gets pushed from right to left, back and forth, would fall down. Because if it gets pushed to the right side here, it would be in the air. It's kind of hard to see for 2 game ticks. And if you get that window, it would fall down. And when it falls down, then it gets powered by this comparator here. That's how we get the signal. And then the signal is transferred over to the sand farm, and this starts a clock, and it would deactivate the sand farm every 45 seconds for about 3 to 4 seconds. So when the chunk unloading happens, every 900 game ticks, the sand farm is off and can't break. That's the whole idea behind this.
Yeah, that's a quite nice thing and worked fairly well. But more or less by chance...
It had some issues, but yeah, it worked. Okay.
Yeah, so more or less by chance we actually found a better way to do it. And, well, that happens if we load our furnace array at spawn. So, apparently there's a limit on how many chunks can get unloaded at once in one cycle. And by having the chunks loaded at the furnace array at spawn, they take priority, so they are unloaded first. But then it already reaches the cap of how many chunks it can unload in that cycle. And the other chunks are protected. So we can actually permanently load them. And yeah, we don't have to pause the sand farm, which is quite nice because it gives us a bit more productivity. So this part here is not necessarily needed anymore.
Yeah, it's not
But we still
longer
kept
needed.
it in case it will be needed in the future, in case something changes.
So here, what we used to disable the hoppers also goes to spawn. And at the end of it, we just take an output and turn on the chunk loading for the furnace array. So those are more or less dummy chunks that we also load. And this way, the sand duper is loaded 100% of the time and doesn't break.
Exactly. So let's quickly head back. I think someone exchanged the sand for white sand already, or yellow sand. And take another look at it in action. Alright, we're back at the sand farm. Now, maybe someone can turn it on again. Yeah. So now we have the white sand, which we can then also use in the furnace array. Well, we could use the other one, but yeah, we have some item filters at some places. And yeah, we nicely duplicate the sand. Can we actually safely hop into the end portal here
Yeah, sure.
without pushing the boats?
Maybe from the top.
Yeah.
Not from the side, of course.
Actually, now when you're mentioning it, there are no portal frames here. You might want to explain how you removed them,
Ah, good question.
if that's possible.
Yeah, sure. So the portal frames, I mean, they're like any other non-breakable block, so pretty much like bedrock in that regard. But yeah, bedrock can be broken either with headless pistons, or as we use in this case with simple dragon eggs. And yeah, that way.
You could also use red mushrooms.
Yeah.
That's what
Oh,
we
yeah.
did here.
Right, because they're transparent blocks.
They are transparent
let's use
blocks,
them, yeah.
and giant red mushroom blocks replace transparent blocks.
Which is kind of nice. Yeah, so
Yeah,
let's quickly
in there.
jump in. And now we can see why we need the flushing system in the end.
Yeah,
because
because
we
we
get a
always
lot
have
of
this
sand.
block here.
Yeah. There's always this one block, but since there's so much sand coming through, and it always flies in one direction, we can detect it there as well. And yeah, then we just have the water to collect
That's
all the
why we
items.
also need the 2 high walls, because if it would only be 1 high, then some of the items got lost.
Oh, yeah, and you can clearly see it here, that they fly that high.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that's quite a nice system. So also the sand goes to the end, and it takes the same path as the blaze rods. So it comes to spawn, and if we just take the old end portal here to get back.
Yeah, take the second end portal.
Yeah, we still have the portal blocks in here, which is nice. I think they would be gone once we respawn the dragon, actually.
No, they should stay.
Should those also
Tried it.
Okay.
Hmm.
So yeah, we're back at spawn. Of course, the items take the same route as we have it on top here, as we showed for the blaze rods. And they also go over to our furnace array. Yeah, then we should definitely take a look at what happens to the sand there. All right, now we're back at the furnace array, while everyone else is still coming in. And we can take another look at our increased furnace array here. So now that the sand is on its way from the end, we should see it light up every moment. So yeah, we will quickly wait here.
I'll take a look how long it would take. Yeah, the sand is already coming.
And here it goes.
Here we go
Again.
again.
Yeah, again the furnaces are firing up. And not got stuck. Yeah, so probably it didn't pick up the right amount of items the first time. But in a couple seconds it should continue. Here it goes. Nice lighting glitches here. Works and probably fills up everything. Oh, almost. 149.
Yeah, see, it's
Right.
different.
Yeah, so depends a bit on different factors. But we get some glass here. Now, this would produce quite a lot of glass, and we don't really have all the storage around here. but we thought we'd take it to even more impressive level and also have a remote storage connected.
Maybe we should mention the rate of the sand duper.
Oh, right. So, yeah, maybe Mango? You usually know
it's
the
also
numbers.
72,000 sand power. And yeah, it's faster than the furnace array is, so don't use it all. At some point, the sand would just keep piling up on top of this hopper minecart here.
Okay.
But it's fine. I mean, we get more than enough.
So you're just letting it despawn, or
let it despawn? I mean, it's
Okay.
just sand we duplicate, so yeah.
true?
Yeah. So, now we should take another look in the basement. Because we somehow need to get rid of the glass. Well, not get rid of it, but it has to go somewhere. And for that we also have a dedicated system. So, up here the glass is currently floating up the item elevator. And it comes from back here, as we've seen before. And, well, some of it just goes across those item filters.
Why? All of it.
All of it.
All of it? No, I mean, some passes by, like, we could see some going up the item elevator
Really?
at the end. Yeah.
Yes.
Just
So-
initially,
Yeah.
there's like a bit of a bump.
Yeah. So, essentially we try to sort out all the glass here from other things, because they go into a dedicated system. And that one is just down here. So, as you can see, all the item filters are connected to this hopper monstrosity. And every now and then we should see something coming in here.
Oh yeah, that chest minecart gets loaded at the moment.
Oops.
Hard to reach. Yeah, it's already filled.
So maybe we can somehow get a look at that. Yeah, so the chest minecart stands on top of this half slab and also between two blocks, so it's being filled by 8 hoppers at the same time. So we have 4 on this side and 4 on the other side.
You can see it quite good from this side.
Oh yeah. And maybe we can... no, can't take a look at it at the moment.
You can jump it.
Oh yeah, now we can see it, but it's already full. So it should take off every moment.
Yeah. It gets sent off every 1.5 minutes.
Yeah, so it does take a little bit of time.
Could take a look at the... Oh, the clock got frozen again. Don't know why that happens.
Okay. I mean, this stuff, of course, has some issues every now and then,
Okay, the clock is running again, yeah.
but it's at the very edge of what can be done, I think. Yeah, so essentially the minecart just comes in here, drives against this fence so it gets aligned, and then later on we just push it out with a double piston extender, and it heads off into another portal.
Around here is, by the way, the chunk loading for the whole furnace array area.
Oh yeah, that's
So this
this
all...
area here.
So the redstone is turned off, so the chunk loading is turned on, also activated by the sand tubing.
Yep.
And those are the dummy chunks. So if you load those, the chunk loading at spawn, the sand generator doesn't get unloaded.
And now we have all the minecarts with the glass in the Nether, but, well, having them pile up there is not really the solution to our needs, right?
Nope.
So can we actually use that portal? I think.
We can use the portal.
So let's just take that portal for a moment. Yeah, so we quickly went back to the portal where the minecarts are coming, and now we also fixed the glass issue. Someone just removed a piece of redstone.
There goes Mango.
Down in the pit. Yeah, so we'll briefly wait here for a moment to see a minecart coming. And here we
Hey.
go. Minecart coming through, and it goes off in the distance.
Can
So of
actually
course
follow
this-
it, I guess.
Yeah, there's also a way back, but try to follow it.
You know, like
Okay.
just like a lot
Yeah.
of teasing.
Yeah.
Like you just start explaining everything, but
So minecart is still heading off. And I mean, since everything here is chunk loaded, there's no need for a player in the Nether. But it takes quite a while. It's quite a distance we have to cover. So this should hopefully give you a bit of an impression on how big this entire system is. But yeah, here we are at this part. And now we have a bunch of hoppers here. And they also have a purpose. So let me just try to quickly get out here.
Just minecart there, kind
Yep.
of.
Here we go. So every now and then, of course, the minecart is coming through with some items, and we steal a few of those items just to, shoot them through the Nether portal again. Because that way we can make sure that we briefly load another chunk in the overworld now. And yeah, there we then store the glass. And also that stuff, of course, needs to be loaded for the minecarts to be processed there, and the items going into
Yeah,
chests.
that's just a 10-second clock here that's activated if the dropper has any items in there.
Yep. So rather simplistic design, but does the job.
So because we need to load those chunks obviously in the overworld again, and we don't have any line going to spawn, so we just go over then as a portal to load the overworld chunks.
Exactly. And I think if there are no questions, then we can move on to the last part, and that is the storage in the overworld.
go ahead.
Alright. Quick and dirty hole here, but yeah, it's not really visible usually. And here we can just see a minecart coming in, getting unloaded, and it looks a bit glitched out for me.
Yeah, normal.
It should be on the rail, on the slope, so it should take off every moment. Again, there's an item distribution system below, and the hoppers.
Fast unloading.
Yeah. And the comparators here just detect when it's empty. So now it takes off, and it goes into a holding area, because the minecart needs to be at least 1 minute in the overworld before it can go through a portal again. So we need to store them here for a while. And yeah, we just send them on periodically. And you can see the glass that's shot through to do the chunk loading here. It just piles up, but it's not a big loss. And we could just throw it here.
Of course, coming from this chunk with the Nether portal in there, we also have chunk loaders downstairs at bedrock level again. If you don't think we have to go down there.
I think we've seen enough chunk loaders for today. So yeah, the items go all the way up here, and then we just have a bunch of chests up there,
There we can
which
show
we
it.
might briefly show without spoiling too much. Let me try to get out here. So here we go, and we have a ton of glass. But well, these chests are not really sufficient. So we have a little, not really hidden, but a little staircase here. And the same thing continues up here. Oh, actually we need to refill some of them, but I think we used quite a bit of it. So yeah, I mean there's just water streams, hoppers behind, so nothing too special. And what's the capacity in total?
1.4 million glass blocks.
That's quite impressive, I would say. And yeah, I think filling up everything once is not sufficient for what we did already with the glass. But yeah, with that part, we'll have to give you a little cliffhanger.
Yeah. Also, we
Because-
should again say that all of this runs while nobody's on the server. So if everybody would leave now, we would still fill up those chests with glass here, which is 2,000 blocks away from spawn.
Yeah, so as you can see, minus 1800 and 1750. Quite distance away, but everything works without any
So
player.
we produce sand at the overworld, send it over 2 dimensions, smelt it, and store it here while nobody's on the server. I think this is quite impressive.
Oh yeah.
Indeed.
Did you get lost, Pricey?
No, I'm right behind you.
Ah.
Boo.
Alright.
Invisible for me then.
Alright, then, Pricey, any last
Yeah, he's
words
invisible.
or any questions?
No, actually, thanks for letting me join. This is quite impressive work you did there. And I'm kind of interested myself what you're going to do with all that glass. I mean, that's an insane amount of glass.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, thanks for joining us. It was a pleasure having you here.
Thanks for letting me join.
Always welcome. And yeah, with that, it's time to say goodbye. It's probably quite a lengthy episode. And yeah, we hope you enjoyed.
Maybe give us some feedback if you like this new format and if we should continue it. Or
Oh yeah, right. So we had to do this a bit more regularly to invite people over. And yeah, if you have any suggestions, leave some feedback. And yeah, we hope to see you soon again for the next tour. And yeah, and we already have some stuff around here. So probably not going to take too long. So with that, we're out. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye.